I'm Mark.
And I'm Josh.
And this is Alter Ego Comics TV, episode number 98. We're 2 away from our momentous 100th episode.
That's okay. We're going to fill it in with like a 99.1, right?
We are... Oh, damn, you spoiled it. We will say no more of this. But we are from the comic book store Alter Ego Comics in Lima, Ohio. And every week we come and let you know which comics we liked the best, because there are so many comics to choose from these days. We want to make sure that you're buying the right ones. We want to make sure that you're buying the good ones, or not passing on something because it's an unknown, or because, I don't want to pay $3 for a book by some guy I've never heard of before. So we do our jobs by reading every comic book that comes out, and by that I mean Josh reads every comic book, and I read about 15 every week. We whittle it down, but last week and this week we're just going to talk about all the stuff that we liked. So we'll kick things off with Wolverine and the X-Men number 21 by Jason Aaron and Nick Bradshaw. This should come as no surprise to anyone that watches the show that we love Wolverine and the X-Men. I am really becoming a big fan of Nick Bradshaw. His earlier stuff didn't really do it for me, but he is basically a clone of Arthur Adams. And since Arthur Adams doesn't do mainstream comic work anymore, with the exception of the occasional cover, it's nice to see that look in comics, and it really fits the X-Men well. This is just another great issue by Jason Aaron. The guy obviously has a great affection for the characters. He knows their history, and we get a traveling circus. This feels a little bit like, what is that movie, that Disney movie with Jason Robards? It's going to go up in the background when we figure it out. It's, never mind. I'm never going to remember the name of this. As soon as we leave, I'm going to remember what this thing is. But there's this circus that is doing bad things, and it turns out it's actually run by Frankenstein's monster. And there is a descendant of Frankenstein who is in the area, and Frankenstein's monster is seeking revenge on anyone with the name Frankenstein. So it has a feel of the classic X-Men story where they're all in the circus, and I think it was Mastermind or the Ringmaster or somebody that kind of brainwashed them. No, it wasn't Arcade. This was back in the early 80s, late 70s. So it had a very similar feel to that, but it's different enough that it's not like you're reading the same thing over again. And Bradshaw's artwork is awesome. Oh, there it is. Awesome. The first one. So Wolverine and the X-Men 21, I sincerely hope that those of you who haven't checked the series out really will either pick up the first trade, pick up an issue. You can pick up this issue and jump right in, no problem. And Aaron's been doing a really nice job of making the issues accessible to new readers. So this one is definitely new reader friendly, and I really enjoyed it.
I really liked Mind the Gap this week. This is issue number 6, still written by Jim McCann. We've got art by Rodin Esquejo. I apologize, Rodan.
He
fights Godzilla sometimes. Yeah, it's cool.
I've met him. He's a very nice guy. He's very tiny.
Mind the Gap is great. We kind of trumpeted it in its first issue. It was something we really liked. We haven't mentioned it in a while, so I just wanted to remind you it's still coming out, and it's still really, really solid. Sort of a murder mystery where the murdered person's not quite murdered yet. You've got the main character sort of in a coma, interacting with other people in comas, and it's really hard to understand. That's part of the fun of the book, is figuring out what the heck is going on. There's clearly clues, and all the information is there. We just can't put it together yet, and it's really great. This issue, we have her sort of semi-possessing another girl who's brain dead, who's sort of died, and they pull the plug on her, and just for a second she can come back, but then her memories are sort of mixed with this girl, and it's really compelling, really interesting, and it has a feel similar to stuff like Morning Glories, if you read that, if you remember the TV show Lost, except this may actually go somewhere someday. So, Mind the Gap, still in the stands. The first trade is out, and it is awesome. Number 2.
Clone number 1 is out, also from Image Comics, by David Schulner and Juan Jose Rip. And this is from Robert Kirkman's Skybound imprint. So Robert Kirkman, the creator of The Walking Dead, he has an imprint at Image Comics because he is the Grand Poobah. And other books from his imprint include Thief of Thieves and Invincible and a bunch of other... Witch Doctor. The Witch Doctor series was under Kirkman's imprint. So, Clone number 1, written by a first-time comic writer, and I did not know this until I got to the end of the book and read his little letter that said, hey, I'm a first-time comic writer. I really enjoyed it. The premise is that there is a man that's having nightmares about doppelgangers, and he just wakes up from a nightmare, he's married and expecting his first child, and as he starts to go out the door to work, one of his doppelgangers actually shows up at his door with a gunshot wound. And later on, we see other doppelgangers or clones that are intercepting his wife at her ultrasound appointment, and it's got this air of mystery and science and just coolness. The artwork is really good. Was pleasantly surprised. I didn't know what to expect from this one, but I walked away truly enjoying it and wanting to check out the next issue. So if you're interested in clones that do not wear helmets like in the Star Wars movies, or the kind of science/fiction or science fiction, you should check out Clone number 1.
We just came up with that. Science fiction. Let's call it sci-fi. Spell it with a Y, maybe.
SYFY.
Also out this week, or last week, we have Hawkeye number 4, still written by Matt Fraction. With this week, we have art by Javier Peludo instead of Aja.
Aja.
I don't know.
Aja.
This is the first multi-part story in Hawkeye. It's only 2 issues. Don't freak out. But it continues the feel of being not at all like an Avengers book. Hawkeye is one of the prime Avengers, but this is taking us into his life, and we see that, Hawkeye is not Captain America. Hawkeye used to be a criminal. Hawkeye works for S.H.I.E.L.D. sometimes. Hawkeye, and rather than punching people about the head like Captain America or throwing a relatively blunt shield, Hawkeye shoots arrows. They're pointy, and he injures people like every week. So it's important to remember that Hawkeye is actually inflicting serious bodily harm on these bad guys. And this takes a view of some of his past exploits and mixes in a lot of fun from the Marvel Universe. They're in Madripoor. You've got criminal superminds. You've got criminal masterminds. You've got the big bankroll people like the Kingpin and Madame Mask in here. And there's just a great feel to it. Hawkeye's been great every issue, and this is no exception.
Justice League number 14 by Jeff Johns and Tony Daniel continues the introduction of the New 52 Cheetah, and it's great. I enjoyed the action scenes in this book, but I actually enjoyed the quieter, more personal stuff better. We continue to see the evolving relationship between Superman and Wonder Woman in this issue, which is a no-brainer. It's kind of alluded to in Kingdom Come, and there's always been that possible romance between Superman and Wonder Woman because they're kind of sort of equals, except Superman's really an alien who could kill anyone. But anyway, I don't know where that came from. But to see their quiet moments, they're spending time fighting the cheetah, and Diana feels a little betrayed because in this story, the cheetah was actually one of her best friends before she became the cheetah. So Barbara Minerva, I think, is her name. So she feels betrayed, and she feels very down and pessimistic about the world in general. And so Superman brings her to Smallville, and they have lunch at a diner, and he shows her where he grew up, and he talks about why he does the things that he does, why he fights for the little guy, why he stands up for the red, white, and blue, and American Pie, and all apple pie. Not American Pie. He stands up for the American Pie movies because he enjoys the humor in them.
Just one time at band camp.
He enjoys apple pie and hot dogs. But after I totally blew that, it's a nice, quiet, personal moment. And Johns is laying the groundwork for a bigger story here, and I can't wait to see where it goes. So I'm enjoying Justice League.
And I'm enjoying Agent of the Empire. This is the second issue in the current Star Wars arc. This arc is subtitled Hard Targets, written by John Ostrander, with art by David Fabry.
It's David.
Davidi. Anyway, art by that guy. This is James Bond in the Star Wars universe, and it's really good. They're doing a great job of every issue making it feel like Star Wars. The storyline doesn't really have a lot to do with the core Star Wars characters from the original trilogy, but it's taking place in the same era, so every issue has flashbacks or asides or just random pop-ins by people you'll recognize from the movie. This issue, we get some Darth Vader in a flashback. This is taking place on the planet Sirocco, which is Count Dooku's home planet.
Oh, sorry.
It's all right. But what I really enjoyed about this one is part of it involves using sort of blimps, I guess, dirigible type aircraft, and they get beset by sky pirates which just made me happy because I liked Tailspin when I was a kid. But kind of steampunky Stein Pirates. But you get this great like 2-page spread where all of these pirates are coming across. And a lot of times in Star Wars, when they're trying to do Star Wars stuff, they don't get the feel right. The mix, when you walk into the Mos Eisley's Cantina in Episode 4, it's amazing. It's a different world. It's clearly something strange and unusual. And we get the same feeling here. You see a great mix of various Star Wars races, all different kinds of things interacting, plus sky pirates and James Bond and bad women and punching, and this book is fun.
Josh really loves this book.
I really like this book.
He really loves Count Dookie. Count Dooku, sorry. And staying with Star Wars for a minute, we have to applaud Disney for making the very wise choice in hiring Lawrence Kasdan to write Episode 8. We just got the news today that the writer of The Empire Strikes Back and Raiders of the Lost Ark will be writing Star Wars Episode 8. And now I have to find a way to keep on living until this movie comes out. So I hope the Mayans are wrong. I hope I stay healthy to be able to watch this movie. Anyway, Captain America #1 by Rick Remender and John Romita Jr. came out last week. This is a Marvel Now relaunch, and I liked it. As with most of the Marvel Now books, they've been really solid, and they're kind of sort of sticking to their word of taking characters in completely different directions. Captain America ends up in a different universe, in a different dimension, Dimension Z. And I don't know what else to say about this without spoiling stuff, other than Romita's artwork is better than I think it's been in a while, and it might be thanks to the inks and the colors by two other people. But it's not as dirty as the stuff he does on Kick-Ass, and Romita's artwork has kind of been hit or miss for me over the years. Romita Jr., that is. Romita Sr. is always good. Sorry, Johnny Jr. And Remender is known for his science fiction stuff. He had his creator-owned series, Fear Agent, over at Dark Horse. He's been doing a great job over on Uncanny X-Force at Marvel, and now he's taking a crack at Captain America, and very, very solid first issue. And I'm not just saying this. We really only talk about the books that we liked because we don't want to try and blow smoke at you just to buy something. But this really deserves, all of the Marvel launches so far have been really strong under Marvel Now. You should check it out.
Also part of the Marvel Now relaunch or reboot or re-thing, the Marvel Now banner. We have Indestructible Hulk #1. This is words by Mark Waid and art by Lineal Yu. And that should be all you need to know. Lineal Yu draw the pretty and Mark Waid write with the good words. Oh, really?
Enough.
All
yes.
right. No, we get Bruce Banner sort of fighting for his place as one of the smartest guys on the planet, Whenever there's a problem, people are like, oh, let's go call Reed Richards, or Tony Stark's a futurist, and Black Panther knows ancient mystic ways. But no, Bruce Banner's like, Gamma Bomb, over here.
I'm a genius.
Yeah, I'm smart too. So it's about him he's basically sort of come to terms with the Hulk and is trying to sort of manage his condition. And he's auditioning for a job at S.H.I.E.L.D., both to get access to their money and their research facilities, and also because S.H.I.E.L.D. is one of the people that can contain the Hulk when they need to. And it was really, really fun. I like Mark Waid's other work. He's been doing a great job on Daredevil. It's Rocketeer, Cargo of Doom. Both of which came out this week and were great if you're looking for more stuff to read. But yeah, this is my favorite Hulk book in a while, since Greg Pak's stuff, definitely.
And it's another perfect melding of the movie universe and the comic universe, because the main S.H.I.E.L.D. characters are Maria Hill and Phil Coulson. Even though we don't see Phil Coulson, we hear him off panel talking to Maria Hill. And the Bruce Banner seems a little like the Mark Ruffalo Bruce Banner from the movies. So if you've never picked up a Hulk title before and you love the Avengers because of the Hulk being in it, or you love the Hulk in the Avengers, pick it up. All right, last but not least, the 800-pound gorilla this week was Amazing Spider-Man #698 by Dan Slott and Richard Elson. And I will say, if you are a Spider-Man fan, you absolutely must pick up this issue. You do not want to miss it. It's already sold out at Marvel. It's sold out at the distributor level. There'll be a second print in a few weeks. But you should hurry down to our shop or your local comic book shop, wherever you are, and pick up number 698, because it is the beginning of the end of Peter Parker's world. And Slott has pulled off, I think, a great story here. I'm very curious to see where this goes as we run up to issue number 700 and the launch of Superior Spider-Man in January. All I can say is, wow. Wow is what I tweeted yesterday about this book. But I will also go on to say that I think Dan Slott is going to be mentioned in the same breath as Jerry Conway when he wrote The Death of Gwen Stacy, and J.M. DeMatteis when he did the Kraven's Last Hunt storyline. This is a storyline I think that is going to be up there as one of the best Spider-Man stories of all time. So you really should check it out if you can get a copy, and then come back and check out 699 and 700, because I think it's going to be a fun ride.
And 699.1.
I was going to not mention that, but kudos to Dan Slott for being such a fanboy. I mean, he's a huge fan of Spider-Man. He's a huge fan of comics, and he is doing an amazing, no pun intended, job on the Spider-Man book that he's been writing solo now for 50 issues. Great stuff, Mr. Slott. Thank you. And with that, we will again issue our call for questions for episode number 100. Well, we've already gotten a number of them, so thank you for that. If you have any burning questions, if you have burning sensations, you should see a doctor. But if you
can't
have
help you with
any
that.
burning, actually don't ask any medical questions because we can't help you. But you can ask comic-related questions, retail-related questions, movie-related questions. We're more than happy to answer those for you because we love you. So thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.